the entire thing was kind of about Jesus in you and God in you, and how through everything He's always walking alongside of you. And throughout the activities we've done, the leaders always kind of point back to that of, hey, like, God's with you, you don't need to worry, and He's always kind of there to catch you if you fall, and He's always there to help you through your faith and through your fear and through your struggles, and He helps you with your life in general.
The testimonies, they were pretty cool to like listen to and like hear like how God saved them in like a way. And Jamba, she was one of like the team leaders or whatever, and like her story, how God has saved her, like I could very well like relate to it, and so like it gets in my head that like I can very well much have God save me as well with the struggles that I've had in life as well that do relate to her in some type of way. And so it was very neat to like hear other people have different struggles in life and get through them through God, and have God through them, and kind of like brace that off onto each one of us individually in a different way.
One of the activities we did this week was paddleboarding, and I was really excited for it. I was nervous though because it was pretty cold outside that day and windy, and the water was also really cold, so I was really nervous about falling in. But I ended up not falling in, which was good, and I had a really like great time. And our leader AJ was talking about how like being centered on the board is like a great way of like also being like centered in your faith with the Lord, and also having the right tools to like get to where you are with the Lord, like having like your paddle and your vest and stuff like that.
My favorite thing about Colorado and where I saw God most would probably have to be the atmosphere and the views of the mountains, because you can just see that God put time into that beauty, and you can just admire it. And one of my favorite things that we got to do was to go on a long hike, and while we were going up the mountains, we could just stop and just look at what God had made for us.
So the barn dance was really good because it put me into a position that I'm not comfortable with, and it really helped me express myself in the barn dance, because I really don't like to dance, but they really pushed me into dancing, and I'm glad I did that and expressed myself, because at the end I felt relieved and happy, and I felt like God was pushing me to get out of my comfort zone and express myself in a different way I'm not used to doing it.
What I liked about the rock climbing was that it was a challenge to learn the techniques, all the commands and stuff, how to get just a little bit higher at each and every point, just a little baby steps to get just that little bit higher. And it was nice to know that there was someone there holding the rope, just like God holds our rope in our lives. So obviously the person at the bottom holding the rope was keeping you from falling, and God obviously keeps you from falling and keeps you going the right direction, like they would direct us up the cliff. And yeah, they just made sure we were safe and that we were having a good time.
One activity that I really liked and enjoyed was rock climbing, because I only did it once, but it was really challenging, and I don't know, just the scenery and being able to actually climb a rock wall, like an actual rock, was really cool, and getting to the top and being proud of myself was really a good reward for that.
We would have like 2 different types of devotionals. We'd have like one in the morning after breakfast, and we'd like find somewhere nice outside. It was really pretty. It was like nice to like, we'd read something and then we'd talk about it in like a really pretty environment. And then at night, after we would have our sessions, we'd like stay in the room and we'd talk about those lessons, and it's really good.
Solo time / group time, small group time, was we were talking about how can you be like seated with God, how you can trust Him, put your faith and trust into Him, and take risks and lose your desires. Of example, I like football, so you could take some time out of football and go and learn about God and put your trust and faith into Him and just grow.
The time after the sessions that we all had together was really impactful, because as a group we got together and we were able to sing worship songs, and I think it was really cool to just see Hillary and Daniel lead it and everyone else just praising the Lord through just seeing the things that he has done throughout the week. It was just so beautiful to see everyone praising the Lord.
God spoke to me yesterday with the 7-mile hike because I could feel his presence of him helping me push myself to get up into the mountain, and there was just all kinds of beauty. I could just see all the creation that he has built and feel his presence with me the whole entire hike. And it was amazing, and I would definitely do it again. And on the way down, he also helped me with not tripping because I kind of have somewhat clown feet, so that helped out too.
I was definitely challenged this week. God challenged me when I was trying to hike up the mountain. It was, I think, the hardest thing that I've ever done. And even though it's like his creation, it was incredibly hard, but it was worth it at the end. So glad I stuck it through.
One of the things I was amazed by was the mountains, because they were just so beautiful, and it reminded me of like how creative God can be with like this whole world. And the snow on the mountains was just amazing. And just going up one mountain and looking down at all the trees on top of the mountains and hiking up, and then seeing like, when I hiked up, I got to climb on rocks and see all the mountains, all the view, and all the trees, just beautiful, all of the mountains.
I enjoyed the hiking because it was good physical activity, and it kind of reminded me that God gives us strength, and I also got to see his creation and all the beauty in that, and to see that kind of proves that he is there and he is real, and it's perfect.
One of the activities we did was archery. I think through all of the activities, there's just, you can see God in every single thing that we did, and just being able to focus on the target and work hard to try to hit the target. It takes effort, but there were people alongside me telling me what I needed to do better to try to hit the target, and I think I can apply that to my own life when it comes to my faith. Having those people around me encouraging me and having fun at the end of the day, it's just really beneficial for me.
I built a lot of relationships with people that I didn't really know, and a lot of friendships, and that kind of helped me go on and do better in like group talk and other activities that we did.
I think after school ended, I was exhausted, and I needed that Jesus refresh. And so I was excited just to come to this camp and be able to be surrounded by believers and just to deepen my faith further. And I think through this camp, I've definitely learned a lot, and it's definitely taught me a lot about having Christ in me and living like a more faithful life.
One way that I saw God in this week is definitely by this youth group, because of how close they all are. Now that I get to experience the first time with them, it just means a lot, and it reminds me of God a lot, because God's like wanting to get friendships and relationships out there, like Christian relationships mostly, and this youth group like really taught me like what the big thing about that is.
Probably building the relationships between everybody here. I feel like before we came here, I knew most of the people who were going on the trip, but I didn't have a whole lot of deeper experiences, and yeah, I really only know the surface of everyone else, but it was fun to get to know everyone else through everything, all the activities and the meals and everything that we did together.
The way God impacted me is that he showed me that there are people that I can very much relate to, I can talk to, people I can just, feel comfortable around, and I like that he exposed me to those people.
This week impacted me. It got me out of my comfort zone. I don't really like meeting new people that much, and I was kind of forced to. And it was a lot of fun, and I got to see God's beautiful creation and stuff. So
the best thing for me about with the free time that we had here was the volleyball and different games that we learned, and that we came together as teams and friends and family to see what people can do in volleyball and the different games. Some people are really good at it, some people not so much, but that's okay. We had fun.
I noticed that everyone just really enjoyed being around each other's presence. We always played games with each other, and I feel definitely towards the end of the week we started to become more of a family.
What really stood out to me about the relationships while I've been here is I didn't really know most of the people going into this. I knew of them, but we weren't really close or anything like that. But this week has really just brought us closer together, and we're all just kind of one big family now, and it's really fun to hang out with them and laugh with them. And I don't know, we just have a good time now. And the leaders especially, they're very kind and easy to talk to and not intimidating at all. So, yeah.
Groot, our leader, he decided to have people volunteer, raise their hand to say if they had put their trust in faith but were living for themselves. There were a few people that did that, 2 including my brothers. They were brave enough to say that they had put their trust in Christ but were trying to live for themselves. And we prayed for them. We asked God to give them strength to reconnect with Him and just to grow as a brotherly community and a church community.
I think the biggest blessing in the week for me has been just being able to hear God speak through the leaders here, and just learning. They had a new perspective I learned here, and that was it's not our duty, I guess, to do good. In fact, it's impossible for us to live with the Christian life, and it's only with God in us, with Jesus living in us, that we can live the Christian life and to produce the fruit of the Spirit. And that has taken so much pressure off my shoulders. I just have to let Jesus live in me and just let Him take the wheel, and He'll do the rest of the work for me.
First of all, I'm just super grateful that the church gave the kids the opportunity to come to Ravencrest. I've had this experience obviously before, but the thing that I guess I have seen so often being in this place is the relationships that are built amongst the kids. And even now as we're talking, they're playing together and they're having fun together. And we saw that all week long. And then the second part obviously is just the challenges that they have experienced when it comes to their faith with the different activities, everything was related. And yet at the same time, just the opportunity for them to maybe take a step further than they were in their relationship with Christ as they go back to school, or as they go back to their jobs, or as they're participating in sports, whatever it might be. And it is our prayer that as a church and as a youth ministry that we will continue to take what we've experienced this week and grow from it and just grow out of it. And so that as we meet weekly with youth groups, not only will they enjoy each other's presence, but beyond that, they will enjoy asking their friends to come in and be a part of the ministry. So again, this is just an incredible place. When you get into the mountains, you automatically just feel closer to God, and Ravencrest is a great place to be able to do that.